And we are live. Good evening, our dear viewers. Thank you for joining us today again this evening. Today we'll be discussing sustainable practices in agriculture. And my name is Kehinde Sharon Oluwatumilara. Today I'll be hosting Dr. Seyi. Dr. Seyi, can you introduce yourself to us, sir?
Oh, thank you. My name is Seyi Toyinbo. I'm a crop production expert and I've been in this business for more than a decade now. And thank you for having me. Good evening to all of our viewers. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everybody, again. So today I'll be asking Dr. Shea some few questions, and I'll be asking that what exactly does sustainable mean in the context of vegetable production?
Thank you. Sustainability in the context of vegetable crop production means vegetable crop production in a way that is profitable and environmental friendly. That is, it is economically viable and eco-friendly, such that it can be done over and over and over and over again without negatively impacting the environment. That is what sustainable vegetable crop production means, basically.
Okay, sir. So moving to the next question, I'll be asking that what are the key principles that guide sustainable agriculture globally, and how do they apply in Nigeria?
Well, the principles, first and foremost, are rooted in food security, eco-friendliness, and profitability. And some of these principles include the conservation of resources, natural resources, and the first among which is the soil. Preservation of the soil health and activities which include crop rotation, reduced or even zero tillage, mulching, cover cropping, use of organic fertilizers rather than the chemical synthetic fertilizers, which at times due to erosion can find their way into water bodies, thus causing pollution. It also it also involves, the economic viability aspect. This is also a very key principle of sustainable agriculture. Vegetable production. Vegetable production, should be rewarding, enough to sustain, the well-being, economic well-being of the producer who has invested his resources, time, just to produce vegetable crops. So the economic viability aspect also is also very important. Is a principle. Also, a climate change resilience for continuity. The reality is that climate change is upon us. So that's another key principle, and this involves the use of, climate resilient vegetable crop varieties that will be able to, stand or tolerate weather extremes that we are beginning to experience in this era of climate change. So these are some of the, key principles in sustainable vegetable production that can be discussed in this program. There are others, definitely, but it's among experts, not for a program. Like, thank you very much.
All right, sir. So
Mm.
I'll be using this opportunity also to welcome my co-host, Mr. Favor, and I'll be using this opportunity to tell that you can register for GrowVeg Challenge 3.0. All you need to do is just to visit the website www.leverageveg.com to register for GrowVeg 3.0. Dr. Sheyi, I'll be asking you the next question. It says, How can vegetable farmers reduce their reliance on chemical fertilizers and pesticides without compromising yield?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. It's a very good one. The aim of every farmer is to get high yield. And, you know, they are used to using chemical fertilizers to boost yield and also control pests. However, there are better ways to it. When I want to advise farmers, the first thing advice I give is to carry out soil tests. It's very important to know which nutrient elements the field is actually, deficient in. So that will guide on, which fertilizer or what to do. For instance, a farmer that has a field that has good nitrogen levels has no business, adding nitrogen-based fertilizer. That will amount to waste. Apart from the fact that it's going to, it has, other demerits being, chemical fertilizer. So, uh, back to the question, there are genetic approaches. There are also cultural, biological, approaches to reducing reliance on chemical fertilizer. For instance, there are crop varieties, vegetable crop varieties that have inherent high yield potential. Yield potential or productive capacity varies with varieties. So there are some varieties, such that with minimal, or let me say with little or no supplemental, especially if the soil is good, there's no need for chemical fertilizer, for instance. Also, there is the cultural aspect to it. An example of such practices is crop rotation. When you grow for instance, you grow cucumber on a piece of land this year. Ideally, you are not expected to grow same vegetable crop on the same piece of land the following year. You can, mulching. Mulching will help to suppress weed growth. These are, some of the things that can reduce our reliance on chemical fertilizers. So the use of organic fertilizers, animal dungs, green manuring, compost, kitchen waste. Kitchen waste, this can be, spread on the field, and they will add, nutrients to the soil. They won't only add nutrients to the soil, they will improve the soil structure for maximum yield. So these are some of the things. I remember an experiment we conducted, during my undergraduate days, in Obafemi Awolowo University. We wanted to grow vegetables, and precisely amaranthus. Some people call it for green or efotete. It's called efotete in Yoruba. And we had three treatments on a particular piece of land. We grew cowpea, which is able to fix atmospheric nitrogen and, makes it available to the soil. There was another piece of land we allowed wheat to grow, and another was bare. So when the cowpea plants were close to flowering, we, incorporated them into the soil. The one that had wheat also incorporated, and after some time we planted vegetables. The vegetable on the piece of land that, was green manured, if I may so say it, gave us the highest yield. So these are some of the practices that a farmer can, adopt to reduce reliance on chemical fertilizers and pesticides to the barest minimum. Thank you very much. Are you
Yeah,
there?
thank you, sir. Is
Okay.
Sharon still available?
Yeah, okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Doctor. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So thank you for the answer to that question. So I'd like to ask further, can you share some examples of uh, sustainable practices that the GrowVeg participants, can adopt immediately, aside from the few ones that you've mentioned earlier in the question you answered previously. So can you mention any other sustainable practices that the participants can adopt immediately for success in vegetable farming?
Okay. Yeah. Well, um, maybe I should go, explain further because in the other hands I just mentioned some of them. Well, for in case of mulching, participants can use grass, can use polythene to mulch the field. That will, reduce water losses. It will also suppress weed growth, reduce soil temperature. Crop rotation, apart from the fact that it will, help the soil to recover loss, it will also break disease insect pest cycle such that when you plant a crop this year, the pest build, I mean, definitely there'll be pest build up. By the time you another crop next year, that the following year, that's completely different, that will help to control, or let me say, destroy the pest buildup which, had happened in the previous year. So these are some mulching. Okay, I've discussed mulching, crop rotation, um, composting, use of compost. These are cheap, practices that will even reduce, not only that, it's sustainable, it will reduce the cost of production. And like, I don't know, in Western world today, organically produced crop are way more expensive than those that are produced using inorganic uh, fertilizers and the rest. So these are few of the practices that participants can adopt, in the meantime, towards sustainable vegetable production.
Okay, thank you very much for that answer. Well, I was going to ask another question, and the question kind of relates to this one you just answered. I was going to ask, alternative inputs that farmers can, adopt for their, sorry, for their farm. But I think you've mentioned some of them. So we'll move to the other question. This agribusiness, I believe agriculture is a business, aside from the passion to plant and grow vegetables, I see it as a business. So for our participants and those who want to, go into agriculture, can you tell us how we can balance profitability, with sustainability in vegetable farming? Since we want to use sustainable models, so how do we balance using those models and, still making profit?
Yeah, thankfully, they are not mutually exclusive.
Okay.
Sustainability in crop production and profitability, they are not much. In fact, they go together. Take, for instance, the use of alternatives that I just mentioned, non-chemical alternatives and chemical alternatives. Definitely, chemical alternatives are more expensive than the non-chemical alternatives. And you going or adopting the non-chemical alternatives definitely will reduce the input costs. And when input cost is reduced, definitely return on investment, or the profit margin will improve. And like I said earlier, in the Western world, organically produced crops are more expensive than non-organically produced crops. So they go together. Another thing is strategic use of inputs. Take, for instance, like I said earlier, soil tests will guide on which nutrient element is deficient in the soil you are using. So, for instance, a soil that has enough or adequate level of nitrogen would not need a nitrogen-based fertilizer. Or maybe you are from the soil test, you realize, oh, it is maybe boron or another nutrient element that's deficient in the soil. That will guide, oh, I should use a fertilizer that will supply boron and the amount that is needed. So these are some of the things that will help profitability while in sustainable vegetable.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. That was insightful. Merging sustainable practices with profitability. Okay. Yeah, sometimes as farmers, we watch videos of how farming is done in other countries of the world. So I would like to ask, are there models from other countries that we can
Mhm.
adopt in Nigeria, and will still give us profit in the agribusiness?
Mo- yeah, models. If I understand that question correctly, if I get you correctly, some of the models I have seen here that is work that I've seen in other parts of the world, let me say that,
Yeah.
is the what is called community of practice.
Mm,
There is, farmers form like a group wherein
yeah.
they interact, they share problems, challenges, and this is a platform GrowVeg is also, offers,
Yeah.
and even interaction with experts in the field. You know, from their interaction, people, get solutions, ideas on how to solve some of the problems, they encounter there out there in the field. Community of practice is very, very important. And also precision application techniques. In fact, is a very, very, important principle in sustainable crop production, including vegetable crops. Take for instance the use of sprinkler irrigation system vis-a-vis the drip irrigation system. When you use sprinkler irrigation system, I can tell you a good percentage of the volume of water you are using to irrigate a field is lost. In the drip irrigation system, is the water you are applying is just being applied directly to the root zone of the plants. So it's like you are putting, using a spoon to feed a baby directly into the mouth. So these are some of the things, models that I have seen here, community, and also people practice, I mean, in other parts of the world, people practice mixed farming, such that what is considered waste, in a section of the farm is input in another section of the farm. So that's also, helps, because if you want to be a farmer and you are serious about it, it is good, like that. How do I say it? It is good you put the whole of yourself into it and invest. You know, put enough investment into it such that there will be, kind of link and interdependence to promote profitability and economic viability.
Wow, 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 that's awesome. That was awesome. You mentioned community, having a community of, like-minded farmers. And I think
Yeah.
that's what the Growth Challenge is about. Where you have a group of supportive farmers, those who are looking to succeed in the business like yourself. It really helps. It
Mhm.
really helps. Really does help. Okay, so the next question, this one is quite interesting. Quite interesting.
Yeah.
So what role does training and knowledge sharing, you know,
Mm.
training and knowledge sharing platforms, what role does it play in like the GrowVeg challenge? What role does this knowledge sharing platform, what role does it play in promoting sustainability?
Yeah. Training, knowledge sharing, you
Yes.
know, knowledge is power.
Mm.
When you are trained and have the opportunity, in a platform like this, you acquire the right information. And when you get the right information, you do the right things. And when you do the right things, definitely you get the right results. So that's one of the problem in Nigeria. Farmers lack access to information
Mm.
despite noble intentions, and before you know, they run into problems, they run into losses. Oh, farming is not profitable. No, but it is due to the problem of lack of access to information. So a platform like this will provide, farmers with requisite information for profitable vegetable crop production. And like I've been saying, community of practice, like-minded people, this will bring together like-minded people who inspire one another, people who, motivate one another to do things right, and to achieving the results that they desire. It's also people also Another role is people will network, like-minded people. Oh, I'm doing this, you are doing that. Oh, can we work together to achieve, a common goal and things like that. So these are some of the roles that GrowVeg Challenge will play for the participants that for the participants. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sharon, are you available now, Sharon?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
And I said thank you very much for answering that question. We got the answers
Yeah,
right. We got the
yeah.
answers correctly. Yeah.
Okay.
So, many newbie farmers, they are
Mm.
online. They see the GrowVeg Challenge flyers. They see the posts. They see the testimonials from previous participants, and still they are not convinced that agribusiness is profitable and they can join the challenge. So, what would be your final words to those who are doubting this challenge?
Well, I would say that it's not just a platform for them to learn. It's like I said, it's a community of change makers. It's a movement already, and the longer anyone that should be part of it delays, the more they will miss out. the more they will miss out. So I will encourage everyone who has, passion for crop farming, vegetable crop farming, not to delay at all. Delay could be, I don't know, but it's always good. Even if you are going to start small, the point is start now. The journey of 1,000 or 1,000,000 miles begins with a step. And the
Yeah.
step, the first of it is joining the GrowVeg Challenge 3.0. And I'm sure they will never regret. But the longer they delay, the more they'll miss out. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. The longer they delay, the farther they are putting their profits away.
Exactly. Yes. So let's use this opportunity to our viewers that has been watching us, that will stay with us since, say thank you so much. From the comments section, Dr. Talabi, thank you for staying with us. David Ede, nice advice. Thank you so much for staying with us. We have Ali Muhammad. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for watching us live tonight. So, Dr. Seyi, thank you also for joining us tonight. I believe the last
My
question has been
pleasure.
asked already. So, tonight we've had lots from Dr. Sheyi, and he has given us reason why sustainable production in agriculture, why we should do it. And also I'm using this opportunity to tell everybody that if not registered for GrowVeg 3.0 challenge, if not registered for GrowVeg challenge 3.0, you still have the opportunity to do so. You can visit www.leveragefresh.com and register. So tonight we say thank you so much for watching us. Thank you so much for watching us, and have a lovely evening to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
doctor.
Doctor. Thank you,